Okay, hi, I'm Max from Games for Families, and we're here at Thirsty Meeples in Oxford to do our Christmas gift guide. Thirsty Meeples is a fantastic place when we visit regularly. You come, you sit down, and someone like Simon here will come and show you a number of brilliant games. Simon is the most experienced games guru here, and so we've enlisted him to show some games for different kind of family groups that he would recommend that maybe you think about for Christmas. So firstly, we're going to look at games for younger children, about 4 of them, before we move on to the more complex ones. So Simon, what's your first selection?
Well, I've got a variety here that I think will kind of please most kind of families. So I'm going to talk first about the lovely Catan Junior, which hopefully a lot of gamers out there will have heard of Catan. It's a bit of a staple. It's kind of a modern classic in that regard. And what Catan Junior does is it kind of teaches some of the lessons that are required to play these slightly weightier strategy games. So it's kind of rethemed with this whole kind of piratey kind of package to make it a bit more attractive to the younger audience. And it's this teaching the lessons of resource management and a little bit about probability and a few of the foundations, the building blocks of modern gaming. So that's Catan Junior.
And everyone likes pirates. And
everybody does like pirates.
So that's an excellent first selection. What have you got next, boys?
Well, I grabbed Rhino Hero Super Battle. This is a favourite of ours at the cafe at the moment. Our copies started to get a little bit ragged because we use it every single day. Now, in this game, we're tower building. It's like the craziest Jenga game you've ever seen. So it's a card game in which you're building this card tower, and your little hero dude is going to be climbing the tower. You don't want him to fall off, you don't want to knock the tower over, so you end up building this big grandiose kind of sculpture out of cards that just looks fantastic. And it's very nerve-wracking, actually, this one.
Yeah, really good fun game, and actually you don't really mind if you lose, and I think that's one of the really nice things about Rhino Hero. It's just building a spectacular thing is a really fun kind of cooperative thing in a way.
Yeah, exactly that. We all get to build a tower together. We all get to build a structure, and that's just a wonderful thing to do. And we love these guys. Habba, they just make great games.
Yeah. If you just have a look for Habba and see something you fancy, you're probably fairly safe. But the next one's not a Habba game.
No, this is Ice Cool. This is actually out of Latvia, of all places. So Ice Cool won an award this year at the UK Games Expo for making great kind of kids games. And this is a flicking based game. I'm not sure how much of that you're going to be able to see, but the concept is this board kaleidoscopes outwards, and you set up this big square where you're flicking penguins about of school, trying to run around, collect fish and hide from each other. It's got this wonderful mechanism where 3 players are running around collecting their fish and the 4th player is trying to catch them. And we take turns being that 4th player who's on the hunt. So it's silly and it's fun, but it's also quite skill-led. You need to have a delicate touch and be aware of how hard you're flicking things.
And Paddy is tremendous at this game.
Oh, is he?
It's a really fun game, but you're right. If you're good at it, then it can be even better.
Yeah, exactly. You're pulling off the kind of clever skill shots is quite satisfying in that, isn't it?
Well, if I ever do them, then I will let you know.
Finally, I think it's something a little bit weightier, like Catan Junior. Stone Age, My First Stone Age, is a sort of family-friendly version of an established existing game, being Stone Age, of course. This is got a sort of a caveman Neanderthal sort of theme. We are collecting resources, harvesting goods, trying to build up our tribe's lands. It's got a little bit of a memory game in there to help develop a child's memory, and with this beautiful kind of artwork and this colourful front, it's an attractive prospect. It's not often I take it to a table and it doesn't gather some interest straight away.
But it's got decisions in it as well. It's got some...
Yeah, it's quite friendly and it's wrapped up in a neat package, but there are conscious decisions about where you want to go and what it is you need to do to proceed, and that's what makes it interesting, teaching these lessons.
So we're moving, that's great, thank you. We're moving towards maybe slightly older children, so I think that's where we're going to go next, with maybe a few more games for maybe families who have got some older children and some younger, and a kind of mixed group. So we'll do that in a second. So these are games for families with maybe slightly older kids, where they're starting to need a little bit more kind of theme, and maybe actually what you're trying to do with these older kids is persuade them off the screens, off the consoles over Christmas.
Yeah, so you need something that's very attractive, something that's going to grab attention and draw people in straight away. So I've tried to go for things that are heavily thematic, good stories behind them, and really engaging themes. So for starters, like, for example, King of Tokyo, you can't do better than this. This is a kaiju game, so you're giant Godzilla-style monsters destroying the city of Tokyo. It's bright, it's colourful, it's vibrant, and it's a little bit violent, which helps.
Tiny bit.
It's kind of a king of a hill thing. We're all ganging up on whoever's in the lead at the time, sort of.
It's very cartoony though.
Absolutely.
And what I love about it is King of the Hill, so you only can ever attack one person, so people don't feel ganged up on.
Yeah.
If you're going into Tokyo, you take that risk, and you're going to get hammered.
Yeah.
And I think that's really lovely about it, because it's both aggressive and also not aggressive.
Yeah, you can't single one player out and go, I'm going to get you and ruin your day. So that's helpful in families sometimes, shall we say. And the fact that it's a dice chucking game with a bit of Yahtzee thrown in helps. It's nice and familiar in that regard.
I think this game is an essential.
Yeah, absolutely. Next I got Downforce, which is a bit of a racing game. Now, it's an interesting one because it's got a bit of a gambling theme going on in there. There's a bit of the manipulation of money, that sort of thing. But it teaches some good lessons about odds and what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, how to place your bets, how to work out what's going to happen in the future. So it's a simple enough racing game. It's got a real world theme, which helps some people who don't want to do something that's all orcs and goblins, etc. So having something that's a bit more grounded does help. But it's still exciting, it's still fast, and it's still very engaging. You don't have to wait long for your turn. It's nice and quick, and you get that real sensation of speed.
And it looks amazing.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
We've done a video on this, so look it up on our channel.
Next I went for Castle Panic, and again you can spot the good games at Meeples because quite often a lot of them are a little bit ragged because these are the ones that we use every single day. These are absolute favourites. So Castle Panic is a cooperative game, so we, the family, we work together as a team to defend the castle. It's all orcs and goblins and trolls and knights and archers and all that kind of stuff, which is great. I love that. And it's got this wonderful 3D effect where there's a castle in the middle of the table, monsters are coming to destroy it, we need to defend it, and we need to work together to make sure that we save the day. Castle Panic.
Absolutely. Played it lots of times at the cafe. Really good fun game.
Oh, the fact it goes up to 6 players.
That's
another
very
helpful thing. All right, lastly I went for someone slightly bit more obscure, this one, Looney Quest. This comes from France. I guess what I love about this game is it's reminiscent of some iPad tablet games. So it's very familiar and easily an attractive prospect for a child that grows up with a lot of electronic devices around the house.
Yeah.
And it's a good kind of draw away from that and back into the group play dynamic. So we put a map on the board, we each have a perspex sheet, and we draw our route through the obstacles in front of us before taking that sheet, putting on top and seeing how we've done. It's clever, it's imaginative, it's interactive and fun.
Yeah, and one of the nice things I like playing it with adults and kids is that kids tend to be better at it than adults, which is great. And those are our games for older children. Next we're going to talk about some party games. So finally we're going to talk about larger groups, games that work with a sort of large group of family, perhaps after Christmas dinner. You don't want to talk about Brexit with your auntie, you want to play a game just to kind of prevent that conversation.
Yeah, so you've got 6, 8, 10 people sat around the table. You need to keep everyone entertained before some kind of squabble breaks out.
Yeah.
So what are you going for? So first up, code names. Now this is a hugely popular party game. Some of your viewers out there will have already heard of this one, no doubt. We love this game. It's word association, so it's a familiar enough concept. It's team based, and you can always get on board with having a team and the other team's going down. And it's got a weird sort of battleships connection that I always use when explaining it, that sort of like you're trying to get the other players but you can't really see what's going on. But the whole word association thing works really, really well, and it kind of, you can play this almost at any level. Like the kids can make the connections they make, the adults can make some more complicated ones, and it's just proven hugely popular in the 2 years, year and a half now.
It is a fantastic game. It's another modern classic.
Yeah, absolutely. Next you've got Diamant. This one's a bit more exciting as far as theme or story goes, this is a group of explorers delving into the depths of an Incan-style temple, trying to get loot and escape before some kind of horrible monster comes and gets you. Now, it's 3 to 8 players, so it's got a nice broad range. It's only about half an hour, so you don't need huge staying power as far as concentration goes. And with that exciting theme, that sort of Indiana Jones story going on in the background, it makes it really interesting. What it is it's push your luck. How far do you think you can get into the temple before you need to turn back and don't risk going any further? And that's a real thrill, that whole kind of, oh God, have I made the right decision or not? And everyone can get behind that.
Yeah, it's great. And sorry, you actually get real jewels in it, like little plastic jewels, which is great for the kids to kind of really get a feel for what they're actually doing. So I really recommend that one.
Yeah. Next we got Concept. Concept is, I describe this one to people as a Pictionary for those with no artistic talent. So we're trying to guess a secret word that I'm demonstrating on a board that is covered in, I don't know how much this you can see, loads of tiny little symbols. So I put markers down on the board trying to build up a picture, a larger picture of my given secret word. Again, it's nice and familiar, so explaining this one is nice and straightforward because they're already aware of the concept that are used. It's just explaining them in this structure, this framework. And it is proven really popular. And one of the reasons I particularly love this, it doesn't require much in the way of language skills. People with different linguistic backgrounds can play this together and it works really well.
Wow, well, we've got some Chinese friends coming for Christmas, so maybe we'll give this one a look.
Yeah, crack that one out. Finally, I went for Junkart. This is a beautiful game. I love this one for its tactile feel and its lovely design. It's a dexterity game, it's a tower building game, but you're using the most gorgeous building blocks to construct these towers. And aside from having that wonderful feel and look to it, it's very imaginative. In a half-hour experience, you'll play 3 little mini games, and each one will be slightly different. Either we're building a tower together, or I'm building my own tower, but I've got to do it as quickly as possible, or I'm trying to sabotage somebody else's tower by giving them awkward building blocks. Again, not hugely complex in terms of rules, but really interactive and very involved.
So this is Junkart. It's a great game. It is quite expensive. There is a plastic version which is cheaper, but not as satisfying to place those pieces. Now I have a huge pile of games. I hope one of them has appealed to you. I hope that you have a great Christmas, whatever you choose to go for. But this is our 12 games of Christmas. If you're over in the Oxford area, do pop into Thirsty Meeples. You'll have a great time with all these thousands of games. If you're not in the Oxford area, please go to their website, which is
thirstymeeples.co.uk.
Correct. And you've got fair prices on games and excellent customer service. Go to our YouTube channel, Games for Families, for more videos about the trials, tribulations, but joys and amazing experiences you can get playing games with your family. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.